can see that, I feel so bad for him. He's fallen to the floor.
Every year, just before Songkran, the Thai official New Year, all men around Thailand, aged 21, become eligible for a special draw. A card game that may change the fate of their lives completely, and a card game that many are scared of. Today we're in the location where that card game is played, and the card game that has been used to conscript men into the military since 1905. So let's go watch this tradition together, and let's see if we can ask some questions from some locals to see what they think about it, and see if we can get some truthful answers. Join me. Let's go. It's just over here.
รีบมาครับน้องๆรีบมา
So as you can see, everybody's lining up here to go in, and I believe the guys calling their names, and then maybe they have to go pick a card. Now the way the tradition works is you pick a card, you pick a black card and you're okay. You pick a red card and you're forced to go to mandatory service for the army for up to 2 years. Now that may vary depending on some things I'll let you know in a bit. But let's go meet my friend and we'll go watch this tradition. มีคำถามเกี่ยวกับคนใครไปทหารรู้สึกยังไงเกี่ยวกับนี้รู้สึกน่ากลัวรู้สึกดีรู้สึก
พี่ผมก็ว่าดี แต่ว่าคนเขาก็ไม่อยากไปเพราะบางคนเขาเสียดายอนาคต2 ปีเขาทำงานข้างนอกเขาได้ตังค์มากกว่าเข้าไปข้างในมันเหมือนไม่ได้ตังค์แล้วก็อยู่นี่แหละใช่แล้วเขาแบบว่ามันเสียอนาคตเขาเลยไม่ค่อยอยากนั่นกันไม่ได้ว่าเขากลัวไม่ได้ว่าเขาไม่อยากไปประมาณนั้น
ราชการต้องการข้าราชการ37 คนและมีเพื่อนเราสมัครเข้าทำการแล้ว15 คนรวม16 คนคงเหลือสลากแดง21 คนสลากดำกลับบ้านนะครับสลากแดงขึ้นไปรับหลายคนนะครับ
ขยาวแล้วก็เริ่มให้ยืนนะครับคณะวันนี้ก็มาสุดท้าย
สำหรับโชคดีไหม Now for the next 20 to 30 minutes, men would come up and have to pick a card. Pick black, you're free to go. Pick red, you're going to the army. People would erupt in cheers for red cards while mothers and sons were crying. And it was almost like watching a sport or celebration. Wow, it really is kind of almost like a football match or something. People are they're really on the line about this. For the most part, when black is called, the men are ecstatic. They're filled with joy and do little celebrations or dances. When red is called, it's a different story. They collapse, some even reduce to tears, all while people are cheering. When I first saw red, I expected an ah or an oh, but people were generally excited. Why were people cheering, I wondered. Now it seems like everybody's happy, but I wonder whether it's because they're happy because it reduces the odds of their own sons going to the army. I asked Dio, and he told me some are genuinely happy to see their sons in the army. They might be addicts or they might be lazy, and in the long run it ends up being a good thing for them in terms of discipline. For some, they end up having to take a 2-year mandatory service and reduced pay, and they're already earning more, so it ends up being not such a good thing for them. There's good and bad.
เข้าไปใน 9,000 หักลบเป็นเสร็จเหลือ 6,000 เลยที่ไม่พอใช้หรอกใช่แล้วเรามีหลายอย่างด้วยเราไม่ได้ว่าไปที่ว่าจะไปทหารเลยเรามีหลายอย่างที่ต้องใช้ค่าใช้จ่าย
6,000 บาทไม่พอ
ใช่
ไม่ได้สู้
เขาก็เลยไม่ค่อยอยากจะเสียอนาคตเข้าไปแต่ถ้าถามว่าถ้าได้เข้าไปแล้วก็ถ้าสอบต่อได้สบายไปต่อได้ไปต่อไม่ได้
But for most of the men participating, when I questioned them, most seemed to dislike the tradition and thought that they should have a choice in the matter.
การจับใบดำใบแดงก็จริงๆผมคิดว่ามันเหมือนบังคับคนมาเกณฑ์ทหารมากกว่าครับก็เลยไม่ค่อยเห็นด้วยตรงนี้เท่าไหร่การเกณฑ์ทหารกับจับใบดำใบแดงคิดยังไงครับ
ว่าถ้าแบบสนุกเกณฑ์ดีกว่าเพราะว่าตัดอนาคตมันเสียเวลาครับในเรื่องมีความคิดผมนะพี่เพราะว่าบาง างคนเขามีงานมีต้องเลี้ยงดูพ่อแม่
Now, you might be left with the burning question, like I was: is there any way to escape a draft like this? Well, not really. Celebrities, transgender people before sex changes, and even the holiest of monks.
And the monk's just been sent to the army. Holy shit. Just as I was saying earlier, nobody is absolved of this. Nobody can get away from it. The monk has to go. He has to give up his spiritual life to go train to kill people. Wow.
Now, there are some reports online that there are illegal ways to get out of this and some people bribe officers, but there's no official evidence of this because, let's be honest, who would tell anyone that, especially when it can lead to 3 years in prison? So, if you want to do it the legal way, the only real options you have are number 1, to volunteer to reduce your sentence, because if you have a degree, it can reduce it to 6 months. And there's another way where you can take part in a 3-year military program where you basically join the equivalent of the territorial army, doing your service that way. But if you're poor and uneducated, there's no way to avoid this at all. You simply have to hope that enough people volunteer so the quota is filled and test your luck at the draw. And if you're testing your luck at the draw, you might be in luck, because some people absolutely love the army. They want to serve their country, keep it safe, and usually half the quota is actually filled by people volunteering each year. They just volunteer up front. The other half, usually around 100,000 people, are drafted using the lottery method. Now, like I said, this is good for some because there are many benefits to national service and the military for people. You know, there's education programs and things they provide for them. But recently, there have been calls to bring an end to the lottery, with people believing that there should be incentives to entice new recruits to join, rather than leaving it up to fate. What do you think about this system? Let me know. Do you think they should change it? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Love you, brother.